shut off all the power, or you'd have to test which one is hot, so you make sure that you don't get electrocuted. But the reason that this is hooked up to plumbing, the reason that plumbing is also grounded. Let's imagine, you know, I'm decorating my house, and I go ahead and I drive a nail into the wall. Unknowingly, what I did, let's say it's on a light switch, so there's no electricity running up to the lights right now. So I drive a nail in, it goes into that wire. Whoops. Sometime later, I turned on that light switch. Lights probably will still turn on. If I touch that nail, I'm in big trouble. But let's assume I didn't touch that nail. But also when I'm putting it into the wall, let's say I have my water pipe for the shower going up, and it happens that that nail was also touching that water pipe. Now what happened, I go, okay, getting ready for work, I'm half asleep. I reach for the faucet. I touch it. Well, guess what? I would become the quickest way for those excess charges, aka electricity, to run to the ground. Not what you want to have happen. However, connected to this, there's a big fat, somewhere in the plumbing system, there's a big old wire that runs right to that ground stake somewhere out on the property. What that allows it to do, now if I touch this, granted, some of the charges are probably going to run through me. Okay? However, the easiest way for them to get to the ground isn't going through this 6'2" guy, through his shoes, into the ground. Instead it says, hey, it's a lot easier to run through that copper pipe, through that copper wire, into the ground. Okay? This is why it's really important that you make sure that your house is properly wired. Don't do shortcuts. 2, if you ever have an electrical device that has that third plug, and maybe your house or where you're plugging in doesn't, don't rip it out. Okay? Yeah, so you can take a pair of pliers, take that third plug and go, and the device will still work perfectly. However, if somewhere inside of the case of, let's say it's a toaster oven, okay, or a computer, a metal computer, and somewhere inside a wire comes loose and it's now touching that outside shell of the case. If that ground wire isn't there and I touch it, quickest way to the ground is through me. But any appliance that has a metal case to it, actually linked right onto the outside of the case is a green wire. That green wire takes it directly to the ground. The reason that it has that is if there's a short, meaning a wire's touching the case, the easiest way for that electricity to get to the ground isn't through me, it's just go to the case, go into that third plug, go into the outlet, run to the ground. But if you tear that plug out, sorry guys. Okay? See ya.
Why would you ever tear it out?
Because some houses only have the 2 slots,
And also,
and they don't have a third.
extension cord, they usually only has 2.
Or the cheap, or you know, you have, which we have some in the back, the cheap extension cords. They're fine for things that only have the 2 slots, but if you plug it in and have that third plug kind of just chilling out there, does you no good. Now, granted, probably 1,000 times you'll be okay, but it only takes once for that device to short out that you're not okay. Okay?
Okay.
What would happen?
Okay.
You're taking the full brunt force of the electricity that can run through.
How much is that, though?
What?
How much is that?
Depends where the short is. If it's on the incoming, you can take the full 20 amps from your house.
You know, like guy in Home Alone,
Yeah?
would he have died, like, in real life?
No,
Big
you-
guy?
That was real life.
Trying to
When he
figure
was
it out.
like, under the sink?
No, you probably.
That's ridiculous.
We'll talk about that when we get. You could die, you might not die. It depends where the current flows and what
Would
happens.
he still be able to?
So what I would do for grounding,
Yeah, I would just give up after that, if not kill.
you have your electroscope. And it's a negatively charged electroscope, so there's a lot of negatives.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm doing, this is my wire. Now, this is an important point. Anytime
for that last box?
Yep, last box. That is the electrical symbol
Grounded.
for ground. Okay? Anytime you see that, you have to know, oh, that's the ground. On this, what's going to happen are electrons are going to run off of the device onto the wire, into the ground, and you're left with a neutral electricity. And they're all paired up just like, so this is neutral.
Way to go.
That's embarrassing.
Okay? So we good on grounding.
Yes.
Okay? Grounding it's one of the things that probably there's the most application to your direct life because you deal with it all the time. Now, for example, on my computer plug, it's not grounded, but also the entire case is made of plastic. If the case is made of plastic, and let's say there's a short inside, if I touch this plastic, will I get electrocuted?
No,
Why not?
It's an insulator.
It's an insulator. Okay? But let's see. I would imagine here's stereo. Nope, okay, it's not grounded. So guess what? If there's a short here, I touch it.
Don't touch that.
That'd
Too
be
bad, so
ironic.
sad.
Stop
Okay?
touching it.
The printer, on the other hand, which has metal parts, it does have a grounded plug.
You're safe. So keep
It's
your
a
hand on
safer
that
system.
printer.
Correct.
I'm okay.
Okay, what's the next demo?